Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Crystal, and I've got a Fiberartsy Reads little book chat video today, and we're just gonna do a kind of monthly wrap up for September today. And yeah, because September, I blink and it just is gone. It's already October, which I'm not mad about, but September was a pretty good reading month for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14 books total read. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And honestly, I looking at my list here, I liked really most of everything. Pretty good. So my highs for the month were definitely The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. That was amazing. Dust by Hugh Howey. Really loved that one. I got to Night Film. That was good. The Once and Future Witches by Alex Sierra. Really liked that one. Yeah, I had some good stuff. This week. Or this month, rather. So yeah, but to finish out September, I did finish 2 more books, so I'll talk about those really quickly. Particularly I listened to the audiobook for The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. And this one, I don't know, I've got mixed feelings about this one. It plays very heavily on horror tropes, slasher tropes. And that was fun, right? And the idea of the final girl, which is always very interesting, right? But it was told in such a way that, I don't know, it was kind of confusing and hard to kind of keep up with who was who and what was going on. I don't know. It takes place out of high school. We follow a bunch of teenagers, and at the very beginning, there's a girl who is a final girl and all this kind of stuff, but then it gets wrapped up into all these other characters, all these other teenagers, and they're trying to survive, and people are getting killed, and who is the very last of the final girls? I don't know. Like I said, it was just a weird one for me. It was told in a way to make it almost feel like a movie, I think, with kind of like directional things, like we're focusing on a boot. It's a pair of boots. It's Kelly's boot. I don't think there was a Kelly, but I don't know. I didn't love this one. Definitely not a favorite of Stephen Graham Jones's that I've read, but I'm trying to read everything by him, so it's fine. It is what it is. And then I did finish Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Cory. I actually just finished this yesterday, technically October 1st, but I'll count it for September because I read the bulk of it in September. I think I read the last 2 chapters yesterday. So, and I really loved this. This, of course, is the start of the sort of epic series. I think it's 7 or 8 books now for The Expanse. Space opera. And yeah, I ended up really, really enjoying this. At the very beginning, we've got, there's this ship that's been abandoned, and they go check it out, and it kind of just starts this whole thing, right? So humanity has sort of spread throughout the galaxy. We're living on like asteroid belts and, different moons, and like Mars is a thing, stuff like that. And so that was very interesting. I really liked this. The characters were really good. We follow, a few different plugs. A crew of a ship who was kind of meant to go check out that abandoned ship. We follow those guys. We've got a detective who is on sort of this base station that gets kind of involved in all of this too. Because what was on that abandoned ship? Let me tell you. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's pretty good. So, and it was very fast paced, even though this is, a big book. It was pretty fast paced, and lots of action, lots of, space flying. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I'm definitely hooked into the series, and I'll continue on, at some point. You know me. You know me in series. We don't always get along, but so those are the last two to kind of wrap up September for me. And yeah, I had a pretty good month. So in September, of course, I did take part in that 70s horror challenge, which was hosted by John from Books of Blood, and I did pretty good with that challenge. I'll just kind of go over that really quickly. A book about demonic possession, exorcism. Of course, I read The Exorcist. I didn't pull these books, sorry. You know what The Exorcist is. There was a prompt to read a book based on a true haunting. I did attempt to read The Devil of Brownsville Road by Bob Cranmer and I can't read my writing, I'm sorry, Erica Manfred. This was a DNF. I was absolutely bored with this story. The Bob guy, who was the guy that lived in the house, this whole sort of beginning part of the story was like, I don't even know, he's like telling about his family, which is fine, okay, but then he's like going into his career and how he got into like local politics, and he's like talking himself up, and I'm like, I'm this amazing person, and it would be like, we didn't know what was going on in the blue room or whatever, and I'm like, what's going on in the blue room? That's what I want to know. I want to know what's going on in the house. I don't really care about your career, dude. So I was bored and I DNF'd it. So sorry, Bob. But anyway, the book about Vietnam, or a Vietnam vet, of course, I read Cover by Jack Ketchum. Enjoyed that one. Book about a killer animal. I did not get to the Wolfen, and I was kind of bummed I didn't get to this one. But I'll get to it at some point, because I'm still pretty interested. It's a nice werewolf book, and it's a vintage story, so I'll get to it at some point. A book by an author who debuted in the 70s. Of course, I read Gerald's Game by Stephen King, and I enjoyed that one. A book featuring creepy or evil children. I plugged in The Exorcist for that prompt, so that was good. And a book also for the book set in the 70s. I plugged in The Exorcist. There was a book, the last prompt was a book that had a 70s style cover. I plugged in The Wolfen for that. Of course, I didn't get to that. So overall, I filled 5 of the 8 prompts, so I'm going to call that a win for that readathon. And it was really fun readathon, so thanks, John, for hosting that one for us. And of course, I took part in Space Opera September, hosted by Thomas over at SFF 180. And I finished 3 books for that. So again, very, very excited. I did not make it to 9 Fox Gambit, but I'll get to that soon. And it's a small one, so I will get to that at some point. I, of course, Leviathan Wakes filled in for that, was for Space Opera September, and then I read Babel 17 by Samuel Ardelini, and then I read The Wrong Stars by Tim Pratt. So that was my Space Opera September. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So only thing I'm carrying over from September is Armor of the Sphinx, because I just didn't prioritize this. I still have a chunk to read of this before I can continue on to book 3, which we're supposed to be reading in October, so I'm officially behind on this read along. That's okay. It's alright. I don't stress it too much. So yeah, I think that's really, I had a pretty good September. I did, my low point was probably The Bone Collector by Jeffrey Deaver. Really didn't care for that story, and I talked about that previously, but Ungodly by Braden Reddick, yeah, that was good too. Yeah, so I had a pretty good reading month. Very happy with my September, and I'm already making progress for October. Very excited. So how was your September reading? Did you get some good stuff? Did you take part in any of those readathons? I'd love to know. Let me know. What were your highs and lows of September? That's it for me. This is a short one. So, hope that you're doing well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.